to Your Kentucky Lawn. In this edition, we're going to talk about sharpening your lawnmower blade.
Lawn mowing is something we do every year and don't usually put a whole lot of thought into it. One factor that often goes overlooked is blade sharpness.
A sharp blade is important for the overall health and appearance of the lawn. A dull blade will require more power to cut through the grass, which results in more engine wear and fuel use. Sharpening is something that may need to be done at least a couple times each year, depending on the type of grass and specific management practices, such as fertilizing and watering. A good rule of thumb is that most blades will, at the minimum, need to be sharpened twice each year.
A great time to sharpen your mower blade is during the winter months when the grass has slowed its growth, and again in midsummer when the grass slows down again. There are a few straightforward steps you need to take each time you sharpen your mower blade.
When working on lawn equipment, safety should always be your primary goal. Try your best to minimize the potential for accidents. A good way to start the blade sharpening process is to remove the spark plug wire. Turning the blade could cause a mower to start. Gloves are important while you remove and reattach your blade, and eye and ear protection can also be important depending on how you choose to sharpen your blade.
Because you're going to have to flip your mower up to remove the blade, it's a good idea to run it out of fuel before you start this process, just so you don't spill any gas while you're removing the blade.
To remove the blade, flip the mower back and locate the bolt in the middle of the blade. To make sure you get the blade back on properly, you may want to mark the underside of the blade so you can remember which side faces down. If a blade is put on upside down, it could damage the mower or may just cut very poorly. Depending on the type of mower you own, there may be 1, 2, or 3 bolts attaching the blade to the mower. You will need to stop the blade from turning while you remove the bolts. There are specialized tools that will hold the blade in place, but a block of wood works well too.
Once the mower blade has been removed, it's time to sharpen. There are several ways you can sharpen a blade, but for homeowners the most common way is with a hand file.
Secure the blade in a vise and then use long strokes with the file. You will want to keep the file at the same angle that is already on the blade and only use the file in one direction. Most blades can be sharpened in 40 to 50 strokes of the file. If you have a mulching blade on your mower, it may be more difficult to sharpen due to several angles on the blade. You may need different file sizes to properly reach all the angles or possibly even an angle grinder. If you don't have a vise, placing the blade on a 5-gallon bucket and holding it in place with your foot can work too.
Another method to sharpen the blade is to use a bench grinder. Bench grinders are what the professionals use and will make for very quick work of the job. The one concern with using a bench grinder is getting the blade too hot and causing warping. As with using a hand file, you want to place the blade on the grinder at the same angle as is currently on it.
Other methods of sharpening the blade are with angle grinders, Dremel-type tools, or blade sharpening attachment for drills. Regardless of how you choose to sharpen your blade, you don't want to over-sharpen it and remove too much metal at one time. Most of the time, removing all the nicks and sharpening the blade to the sharpness of a butter knife is good enough. If the blade is severely nicked, cracked, or warped, it may be better to purchase a new blade rather than try to sharpen the old one. In a situation such as this, the old blade may become unsafe when replaced on the mower.
While the blade is off, is a great time to remove any grass buildup on the underside of your deck. A pressure washer does a nice job, but a putty knife works just as well.
Removing the dead grass will help prolong the life of your deck and reduce the chance of rusting. Your last step is to reattach the blade with the proper side down, replace the spark plug wire, and fill the tank with gasoline.
After you finish sharpening, you're going to want to make sure that you've taken the same amount of metal from both sides of the blade and that the blade is balanced. An unbalanced blade can cause the mower to vibrate. To check this, simply hang the blade on a nail and see if the blade dips to one side. If it does, file or grind more metal from the heavier side and check it again. You can purchase a blade balancing tool, but a nail works just as well. In summary, dull blades are bad for the grass and can increase fuel usage. Safety needs to be a priority whenever you're dealing with equipment. And if you don't feel comfortable sharpening the blade yourself, small engine repair shops will do it quite inexpensively. By keeping your blade good and sharp, your lawn and your wallet will thank you. I'm Greg Munshaw, and this is Your Kentucky Lawn.